I decided to move to the new city, drop out, not drop out of school, but drop out of work. Quit work, move to a new city. Tomorrow is my first day at high school in this city anyway. See ya. Let's press play for YouTube.
They left the trail to go and hike around the mountain to try and find it. They were beginning to get super tired and the sun was coming out, so it was really hot. So they had the terrible idea to just drop their heavy backpacks that had all of their survival gear and just continue on without them. After 2 to 3 hours of hiking, they got to the area where the drone should be. A clip from 8:06 to 8:11. Basically, long story short, Natalie ends up splitting away from her cousins to go further down the mountain to try and find the drone, and all she has is her camera and her phone. She's following where the drone app says that her drone is, and eventually she sees it and realizes that it's now above her in a spot that you would literally have to rock climb to get to, and this is when she begins to panic. She realized that she was completely stuck because she couldn't get back up to where she left her cousins, and she also couldn't go down because it was too steep to slide down. At this point, rock avalanches are also happening around her. She luckily had cell phone service at this point and only 13% battery left, and ended up making the call to 911. They were able to get her coordinates, and the search and rescue team at the mountain were able to contact her, but they asked how much food and water she had with her, to which the answer was obviously zero. She ended up trying to continue climbing up the really steep mountain instead of just sitting and waiting all day into the night to be rescued, and was luckily able to get to a safer area where the team ended up finding her, and they also went and saved the drone, which was super nice of them. All in all, this is a crazy story for Natalie, and I'm so glad her and the drone made it out safely. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thank you so much for checking it out. I've been your host, Olivia Kozlowski, and I'll see you next time.
Fuck off.
Starting us off, number 10 is The Castle. Terry Sherman moved onto the ranch with his family, but after everything they saw and experienced, he sold the 512-acre ranch only 18 months after. The family had seen multiple mysterious crop circles, giant yellow-eyed creatures, unexplainable lights in the sky, and of course, the attack on their livestock. At one point, 7 of their cows were either dead or missing, and the cause of death was particularly weird. One cow had a hole cut out in the center of its left eyeball, but had no other injuries. Another cow had the same surgical incision and had a 6-inch hole cut out of its rectum. I mean, last time I checked, animals who attack can't just make surgical incisions like that, so other cows just had their blood drained, but if you asked anyone where the blood went, they wouldn't be able to tell you. A quarter of their livestock died this bloodless way. Cattle mutations is one thing, but the chemical smell that was present with each cow was very disturbing. For the cows that disappeared, their hoof prints would literally stop mid-part, like they had just vanished into thin air or been abducted by something from above. Why have aliens always been so obsessed with cows? I don't get it. It's like the most repetitive motif in time. What is it with cows?
Moving on to number 9, we have The Shoe in the Riverbed. Now, this story surrounds 2 friends out on a road trip. They were headed to New Mexico when they decided to pull over near a river dam. Upon exploring the river, one of the friends recalls feeling as if they were being watched. That was when they came across a bone on the ground. It resembled a spinal cord, but they believed that it just belonged to an animal. As they continued on, they saw a weird rust-colored rock sticking out from the sand. By this rock, there was a half-buried little girl's shoe. The friend went to go kick the shoe into the river, but he heard a little girl's voice say, "No, don't, please." Then the friends found another bone. Eventually, they called the police and found out that the rust-colored rock was actually a part of a pickup truck that was carrying a man, a woman, and their daughter. But what happened? Did the family just crash off the road? Did somebody drive them off the road? This needs to be explored in a movie. Maybe the 2 friends go on to investigate and solve other mysterious cases while also coming in contact with ghosts.
At number 8, we have Stuck. This one was written by Garboid27. I can't move, breathe, speak, or hear. It's dark, this lonely, I would have been cremated instead. Ooh. The mystery of what happens after we die is a center point of a lot of human discomfort. Most religions promise you the answer to the afterlife, but do they really know? Part of me is excited to die. I'll never need to worry about running around late for anything ever again. That seems like a peaceful future I can get behind. But what if this short story has it exactly right? What if you're stuck in your body, unconscious, with no ability to do anything forever?
In our seventh spot, we have the swap. This Reddit user keeps switching between universes. He notices that every day something changes. For example, items in his room keep disappearing, his shower head turned from gray to black, and street signs keep changing around him. One day the street sign will be brand new. The next day it will be rusty, covered in vines. This has led him to believe that every day he wakes up in a new universe, one that is slightly different. Honestly, that would drive me insane. But hey, if I ever lose an object, I now know it's because I'm in a different universe, one where I never owned that object to begin with. Now at number 6 is the man. The night started off like any other night. This guy got home from football practice, had some snacks, and checked his notifications. Surprise, surprise, he didn't have any. He continued on with his night because it was FIFA time, and you already know that means not looking at your phone unless your girlfriend is like bombarding you asking for attention. Me. Now a total of 9 games later, it's now 1 a.m. and he decides now is the best time to go to bed since he has school the next day. Good luck waking up at 7, mate. Now he checked his 0 notifications before bed and then left his phone on charge on his dresser. He then wakes up at 5:30 miraculously. Actually untrue. I feel like in high school I could also operate on like 0 sleep. Cannot do that now. Either way, he finds his phone unplugged on his bedside table, which is not where he left it the night before, but he just assumed he must have knocked it over during his sleep or something. Somehow he had 12 Snapchat notifications, all from random people he didn't even talk to. He opened them and they all said the same thing. Who's that man laying next to you? Dude, if I woke up and that happened to me, I would move house. Actually, firstly, I would search my house because what if that man is still in my house just hiding in my closets or under my bed? Ugh.
Coming at number 5, Bridgeman. Back in 2017, 2 8th graders were found 18 hours after a search for their bodies was conducted. To this day, the investigation still remains a mystery, but a huge piece of evidence was found on one of the girls' phones. Their Snapchat stories showed the last location they were seen, which was along an old abandoned railway. One photo showed one of the girls walking across the railroad, while the other showed just the railroad with a black and white filter over it. Another video on the girl's phone showed a man on the other side of the railroad walking toward them while shouting, "Guys down the hill." It seemed as if this was an order, and as you can imagine, the man in the video was the main suspect. However, he was so far down in the video you could only make out his clothes, which included blue jeans, a blue jacket, a brown hoodie, and a hat. His head was also down, making it even harder to identify who the man was. Over the years, there have been numerous suspects, but to this date, the investigation is still open and ongoing, and hopefully whoever is responsible for this heinous act will be caught soon.
And number 4 is the UFO. So we can all agree the Shermans have seen enough to last a lifetime. One night, Terry looked out his window to see an RV parked in the pasture outside.
Oh, you're just getting mangoes.
Find all your Christmas specials like Peter's Original or Neapolitan ice cream, 4-litre varieties, $6 each. Now at your local IGA.
Thinking the people flew out of sight. Out of sight. It flew. This RV that was clearly alien craft and not an RV flew into the ether somewhere. Like, can we talk about that? Filling at number 3 slot is the sickness. When you're working or living in a supernatural extraterrestrial hot pot 24/7, you can't think it's not going to have a negative effect on your mental or general health. Colin wrote in his book Hunt for the Skinwalkers after smoking 20 or more marijuana cigarettes. Yeah, okay, that's hard to believe. But eventually they found out that one of the boys was already dead and the other was unconscious before the train ran them over. However, no one knows who killed these teens or why. All that we're left with is speculation. So one man came forward and said that the teens witnessed a drug drop in the area and were killed as a result. But no one knows if these claims are true. Although we don't fully know what happened that night, I would love a movie from the...
And it's been 2 months since you last have been
these
here.
boys'
The
perspective.
camera.
At number 10, we have The Garden. Okay, this first one I grabbed off of a website
Yeah,
which
it's
grabbed
been
it off
2
of
months
Reddit, but
now.
they didn't credit the Redditor, so I couldn't find out who the Redditor
Just
was.
after
So if you
2
guys know,
months, I
let me know.
moved
The story
here.
goes, out in
to
the
New
garden, the
City,
girl in the blue
in
dress
my
with
new
butterflies on it
apartment,
stood on her tippy toes, trying to reach one of the pretty things in the tree's branches.
in the
When the
pool
birds
area
began to swing at her touch, she
of
laughed merrily. This
Kodama.
girl's laughing while she's playing with
of
a dead
Hope's
body. She's
Peak.
either going to be a great
Not
doctor or an
Kodama.
amazing serial killer, or both. She could do that crossover thing where serial killers also are doctors so they can kill people better in secret. I've seen that all the time. Either way, all the neighborhood kids should stay away from her until she figures out what she wants to be when she grows up. Also, why is she playing with dead bodies with her nice blue dress on? Where are the head back up to look at what's sitting on the bed? Whatever that.
Guess it's time to pause it. Then head into my bedroom. Head to bed. Okay, so it's 5 AM. Let's head to school, I guess. Give me a second. Going to creative. And let's go. Okay, so I might buy me some food. Might get me one burger and a pizza slice. Okay, so let me grab pizza and a burger. Hey, I like to buy pizza slice and a burger. Here you go. So there'll be $5. Okay, $1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. Have a good one. You too. Okay. Hey, I need to catch a train to Hope's Peak High School. Sure, that'll be $15. Okay, cool. 5, 10, 15. Have a good one. You too. Let's head down and wait until the train comes, I guess. Here we are at school. This is my first day at Hope's Peak High School. A new high school anyway. Let's chill here. Smoke weed and
That notification was from me, it would have been, but it was a picture of her best friend sleeping, and there was no way she took it herself since it was from across the room. 10 minutes later, she gets another snap from her, and this time the picture is a bit closer. The same thing happens again, and this time the person is super close to her now. The fourth snap comes in, and it's a close-up of her best friend's neck, sliced open, soaking her pillow in blood. Her first instinct was to call her friend's parents, who ran into her room to find their dead daughter and nothing else. Upon investigation, police found out that the snaps had been sent to everyone on the girls' list, along with a fifth snap saying, "I'm coming for all of you." Okay. Or phones. The girl woke up one morning to her roommate asking why she opened her window and
I guess let's head to class. My first class should be in here. My first class. Good morning, class. Today was a new student. James, come up. So, Hey, my name is James. There's nothing special about me, so yeah, that's all. I'm gonna go sit down now. Course dismissed. Cool. Okay, so my second class. Good morning, class. Class dismissed. Cool. My last class until the break. Good morning, class. You know what? Fuck you. And fuck this class, I'm out. I'm fucking out of here. I cannot believe it. That teacher's a fucking asshole cunt. Like, I swear to God. Let's chill down here, I guess. Why not? Smoke weed, chill, watch YouTube, pretty much.
The middle of the night. She hadn't. So I'm guessing she is next.
Filling our number 3 slot is the ghost of Snapchat. A woman named Lindsay was doing her thing, shaving her legs in the bathroom and listening to some music like we all do. Unfortunately, her phone was vibrating from the music she was shaving to, and it ended up falling in the toilet. This led to her getting a new phone off of Craigslist, so you can imagine things got quite scary from this point on. She got a deal on the phone as it apparently belonged to a recently deceased elderly man, something that clearly didn't bother Lindsay. After a few weeks, Lindsay got a Snapchat request from a stranger. All of her data from her old phone was already transferred through iCloud, so this new request was from a total complete stranger. At first, she would receive random letters, numbers, and emojis, which didn't mean much at all. Every Snapchat she sent back went unanswered, and to no surprise, all of her friends denied they had anything to do with this. Then things got weird when Lindsay was working.
Welcome to the
Fuck off. Edge. Just fuck off. Here, why not?
Viewer discretion is advised. Oh God, there were the bowls, the ones we'd been eating out of. But the meat, it wasn't beef or pork, it was him. And the rice, maggots, crawling in his flesh. He'd have to have been dead for days. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today we bring you SCP Foundation Keter Class Object SCP-953. SCP-953, also known as the polymorphic humanoid, is a female red fox with 9 tails. It displays polymorphic properties and enjoys taking the form of various other objects and beings, most commonly an attractive Korean female. The one weakness to its transformations is that it keeps at least one part of its true form when in human form. This allows it to be easily spotted in a group, just by searching for the one person with fox features, whether it is a tail, ears, paws, or something else. However, it will use clothing to try and hide these features. In addition to polymorphic abilities, 953 displays moderate-level psionic abilities, namely suggestion and telepathy. Although insufficient to fool an outside observer, a deceived victim can be convinced of a variety of false facts, including the nature of 953, its own nature, and the nature of things around it. 953 has used this in the past to deceive a police officer into believing there was no screaming coming from a hotel room where she was staying, convince a mother to roast and eat her own child, and also performing a disgusting necrophiliac acts towards the fiancé of Agent Ramsey. SCP-953 has been encountered by the SCP Foundation numerous times, with the first encounter having taken place in Busan, Korea, shortly after the Second World War. To date, 953 has escaped and been recovered 6 times, resulting in the deaths of many SCP agents during various incidents. After its latest escape, 953 was not heard from for over a few years, until suddenly resurfacing in Pennsylvania at YIFCON, which it had been attending in the guise of a Fury enthusiast. Before being captured, 953 carried out over an estimated 27 murders of convention staffs and attendees, more than any other single incident to date. The mutilated bodies were found in various places throughout the hotel, including inside a mattress, hanging from a shower curtain, and served as the main course at a hotel banquet. Surviving attendees were administered Class A amnesties and released from Foundation custody. Foundation personnel assigned to capture 953 after this latest incident noted that the subject appeared listless and apathetic and did not resist capture. No further casualties have resulted from 953 from that date. SCP-953 is to be kept in a 4 by 3 by 3 meter containment cell at the end of hallway 99 at Site 17. 953 is to be provided with 1.5 kilograms of fresh liver daily for consumption, clean drinking water in plentiful quantities, clean beddings to be exchanged by 953 and laundered weekly. Small luxury items like plum wine and reading materials may be provided as an occasional reward for good behavior as part of psychological conditioning. Direct human contact with SCP-953 is strictly forbidden due to SCP-953's mind-altering properties. For this reason, all personnel must stay outside the 100-meter safety zone when the sealed door is opened. Delivery of food and other items will be carried out by an automated robotic assistant. If containment fails, 953 can be theoretically terminated by gunfire. However, due to its nature, recognizing 953 may be difficult. Because of the inadequacy of purely physical containment procedures to control SCP-953,
Fuck off. Fuck off, you stupid
Hey,
fuck.
what's up guys, it's Scares here. Now our first story today comes from Jake Paul. Okay, so only a couple weeks ago, Jake Paul had fought the NBA star Nate Robinson in a boxing match, and he completely won. He knocked out Nate Robinson. It was a huge fight. You had millions of people that were watching this. Now Jake's own brother Logan Paul has announced that he is going to be fighting Floyd Mayweather in the near future, in February of 2021. So both the Paul brothers are making huge moves in terms of boxing right now. Okay, these fights are some of the biggest out there. I mean, they're literally making millions of dollars every fight. Now I'm sure we all know who Conor McGregor is. I mean, he was the most famous person in the UFC. Absolutely huge. People love him. The thing is that Jake Paul really wants to fight Conor here, okay? He's constantly been calling him out the last few weeks, and he's been calling him out all year, to be honest. He really wants this fight with Conor McGregor. Now, the president of the UFC, Dana White, recently came out in an interview and said here that Jake Paul has zero chance of ever fighting Conor McGregor. Just watch this.
On the percentage scale from 0 to 100, what are the chances that Jake Paul ever fights Conor McGregor?
0.
0.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Listen, man, I get it. These kids, listen, both these kids, him and his brother, have done a good job of injecting themselves into the fight world. Nate Robinson and trying to take on Conor McGregor are two different things. It's like his brother. You know, I said earlier this week, his brother lost to the video game kid from England.
Okay.
Now you're gonna fight Floyd Mayweather. That gets you a fight with Floyd Mayweather. That's pretty crazy. But I get it. There's a lot of money in it.
Okay, so obviously Dana White does not think that Jake Paul is going to get this fight with Conor McGregor, but keep in mind, Logan Paul was able to get the fight with Floyd Mayweather, and everyone doubted that that was even true, but obviously this is now happening, so people now really do think this is a possibility that Jake Paul could get this fight with Conor McGregor, and just yesterday, Jake Paul posted a video here calling out Conor McGregor, offering him $50 million to fight him. Now this video completely blew up. It has over 5 million views on Twitter. Just watch this.
What the f*** is up, you Irish? Good morning, Conor McGregor. I know you're probably beating up old dudes in a bar right now, or maybe you're, because you're sick of your wife. I mean, she's a 4, Conor. You could do a lot better, but happy Monday. My team sent you a $50 million offer this morning. $50 million cash, proof of funds. The biggest fight offer you've ever been offered. boxer, but you're scared to fight me, Connor. You're ducking me because you don't want to lose to a fucking YouTuber. You're 0-1 as a boxer. I'm 2-0 as a boxer. I just came up with the 8th biggest pay-per-view event in history. But you want to fight Dustin Prober, who has less followers on Instagram than my fucking dog. That's a fact. And Dana White, you're a fucking pussy too, you ugly fucking bald bitch. You said there's 0% chance of this fight happening, but there's 0% chance of you getting some fucking pussy. Connor, you're scared. Dana, you're scared. Sign the fucking contract, you idiots. Jesus fucking Christ. Irish bitch.
Jake Paul then unfollowed everyone on his Instagram and only followed one person, Conor McGregor's own wife. So Jake Paul is straight up disrespecting Conor McGregor here. I guess he is doing everything he can to try to get Conor McGregor to respond so that he can get a fight with him. And because Jake Paul has shown such disrespect here, you have other very well-known famous fighters that are calling out Jake Paul. Actually, Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor's former opponent, responded to Jake Paul just last night saying, "Jake Paul, you need your ass beat for free. You spoil. You can't really fight dumb shit. You're going to end up with your ass whooped for real somewhere talking like that." So even Conor McGregor's former opponent, Nate Diaz, is calling out Jake Paul here. I mean, this is absolutely huge. So many professional fighters are upset with Jake Paul right now for the disrespect he has shown over the last day. And then just today, this whole situation got even crazier because Jake Paul actually showed up to where Dylan Dennis was. So Dylan Dennis is a famous professional fighter himself. He's called out Jake Paul in the past here. And Jake Paul found out where Dylan Dennis was staying at in LA, and he showed up and did a drive-by where he was throwing stuff at Dylan and his group here. This video has over 1 million views in only a few hours. Just watch this.
Hey, look, it's Conor McGregor's right there. Put it
Now this video from Jake was met with a lot of criticism. You have people saying that Jake seems scared here because they just drove off when Dylan obviously wants to fight Jake. I mean, even Dylan Dennis himself is making jokes about Jake right now. So Jake Paul then posted to his Instagram story responding to everyone making fun of him for driving away. Just watch this.
The internet lets me down every day. Like, y'all are really stupid. Y'all are like, oh, he drove away. Like, why didn't he fight him? First of all, it's called a fucking drive-by for a reason. It's not called a fucking drive-stay, you dumb fuck. Second of all, why would I fight this guy for free in the middle of the fucking street? We get paid millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to fight. Why would I fight him for free? Y'all stupid.
And Jake Paul also just posted to his story showing that Conor McGregor has seen Jake Paul's messages to him. So Conor McGregor is definitely aware of the situation right now, and everyone is just waiting to see how Conor is actually going to respond to this. Now our next story of today comes from the massive Minecraft YouTuber known as Dream. So we talk about Dream a lot in our last few videos. He is probably the biggest Minecraft YouTuber right now, and he has some massive videos where he does...
Oh yeah? I have no idea. It sounded like there was something right here. Yeah, like somebody went. Yeah.
May as well have another joint. I can't believe it. This is my first day at this new high school. Football field, basketball court, swimming pool in there, there's a gym in there. Cool. When am I gonna run magic? Cause I wanna run magic soon. I'm a demon for fuck's sake. I have to run magic. Because demons, they use magic, so when am I gonna lose magic? Hopefully soon. Let's chill here, I guess.
Yeah, it was kind of like going like this at first. Nothing on the K2 though. That's scratching on the wall. It's good for that. Yeah. Yeah, I heard a tap on the wall. I wasn't recording though. I just did.
Flower Hall. Nice name, nice placard. Sure. Smells like shit in here. Yeah, well, I mean, it smells a little musty. Yeah, that's what all the places that we go to smell like, dust. Oh, that goes back pretty far. Okay. That kind of leads my mind. I'm getting the vibes. Do you think on any one of these adventures you'll ever truly sort of have a psychic break? Like a mental break? Yeah. Maybe.
No kid.
I mean, you almost got there in the Sally house. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen today.
What's up?
I
I was thinking, do I know sneak out of school and we'll go to Suicide Forest? Sure, why not? Let's do this. Cool. Let's do this. Done. Follow me. Got it. Yeah, keep going this way. Okay, let's head to, then turn down this way. Okay, so it's this way. Yeah. This way is to the city. This way is to the forest. Okay, cool. Let's head to the Suicide Forest. Done.
Into the air.
I can't believe it's been a year. Now I'm in the orphanage in Hope's Peak.
And as you can see in this clip, there's a ghost in this playground that is trying to do the full loop. This clip was uploaded by Raul Singh, and it seems that he is very freaked out by this. But I think that this ghost just loves attention and wants to build a crowd before he goes for the full loop. If I saw something like that,
and the demon and angel and, you know, even human
ghosts are doing
orphanage.
spooky stuff, just let it happen.
My parents died. Yes, I still have parents, but they live somewhere else. I didn't mention it in the documentary because I just don't want to mention it.
That gave the hospital the nickname the Hospital of
So now I live in the orphanage
a patient named
in
Anna
Hope's
Marie
Peak.
Davy went
They
out for a
take
walk
away
on
my
the
house,
grounds, but she never returned.
and
In
yeah,
1980,
they send
the
me
patient's
to
Melvin
the
Wilson
orphanage.
came forward saying that he had killed her and buried her body parts kept 7 of her teeth as souvenirs.
Let me show you around my lounge room, bed area, like my bedroom and office, and then the orphanage. So yeah, out here cannot believe I'm in the orphanage. I got 2 balconies. For some reason, they let me have 2 balconies. Who knows why? They should have just put this. What I'm gonna do, here we are. I'm gonna do that. Let's push play.
Hence the nickname, the Hospital of 7 Teeth. But that's not the only bad thing to happen there. Years before this incident in the 1960s, a bunch of patients were accidentally poisoned, but this has never been confirmed. In 1992, the hospital was closed after psychiatric care in Massachusetts became more privatized. Making our way down the list, number 6, we have the Elizabeth Orphan Asylum. Located in Elizabeth, New Jersey, this orphanage opened in 1858 for orphan girls. Now, rumor has it that the basement of the orphanage was used for satanic rituals, and these rituals ended up letting a lot of evil into the home. Some even say that some of the workers there got possessed by demons. As a result, bad stuff started occurring there. Like in the 1970s, a small plane hit the orphanage. Then a little while later, it mysteriously caught on fire. People that have visited there have sensed the evil that lurks there, and have even seen green glow.
Very into urban exploration as a teenager.
Let's head out. Like, go do some stuff in the orphanage. Head out in the Oval. Last year, me and my friend went to, the Suicide Forest. We went there, and yeah, I went to school. I got a spell from that school. Tomorrow is my first day at high school. My new high school. It took me a year to, book me in the school. It takes some convincing, pretty much. Because no other school wanted to take me, so, I had to convince them.
See, I was more into Gossip Girl and reading than I was exploring abandoned buildings, but to each their own. I never judge outwardly. Now, either way, there's this old ice plant near the user's house that had burned down 35 to 30 years beforehand, which is very ironic. You're an ice plant and you burned it down. Bit of shocking behavior. Either way, the place was super overgrown, and as the user was exploring the mangled concrete and rebar, everything seemed just normal and old and burnt. Disappointed, the user went home, but a few days later, they hear that a corpse was pulled out of the plant by the police. The user had literally walked past a dead body and had no idea. Like, dude, open your eyes or your nose. How do you not smell a dead corpse? Apparently they smell like proper because your nose blocked that day, bro. What's going on?
Making our way down the list, number 4, we have the Ganjeom Psychiatric Hospital. This next abandoned hospital is named one of the most haunted places in South Korea, and one of the freakiest places in the world. In fact, it's home to tons of urban legends. One legend states that the owner of the hospital was insane and kept the patients as his prison hospital each year just for the way.
Eventually, the video
and shadow figures roaming the building. They say you feel the presence of the past patients of the building as well. Many visitors also say they have heard the usual bangs, bumps, and footsteps commonly heard in spirited destinations. It is also known far and wide as a hotspot for paranormal activity, with groups that investigate apparitions and EVPs recorded there. While one group of ghost hunters were exploring the abandoned Coon Memorial State Hospital, they found the body of a missing woman.
And in our number 1 spot, we have the Gore Orphanage. The Gore Orphanage is the most famous orphanage in Ohio. Why? Because rumor has it that it's incredibly haunted. So the Gore Orphanage was active sometime in the 1800s. The exact date is unknown. However, it sadly got burned down by a huge fire that engulfed all of the orphans and with just no light coming in. They then spent 17 hours in there hiding, and the only thing getting them through it was one of their friends saying, "We didn't survive that to die in here," obviously referring to the war. And no, you didn't, my friend. So you're gonna survive that. Moving on to number 9, we have Topeka State Hospital. The Topeka State Hospital, located in Kansas, operated from 1872 to 1997. And this hospital, much like the others on this list, has quite a dark history. So apparently in the early 20th century, a reporter visited the facility and witnessed